about developing a true sense of fashion. Please welcome Her Excellency Sara Al Madani.
Okay, this is loud. Today is the second. Usually, when I go to work or when I the capital of 25,000 dirhams. Back then, it was a lot of money. Okay, so I didn't go to fashion school. I was literally in school when I started my company, and I remember I took a store in the middle of nowhere in Ajman, in an industrial area where industrial workers are. But I don't know if I had a passion for fashion, but I knew I wanted to change the way women wore their traditional clothes. This was my main thing that I wanted to do, because I felt like they looked as if they were hiding under it. I wanted them to look like they were, proud of it. They were strong in it. So for the first 2 years, sitting down, looking at the guy, because I took the store as key money. So there was a tailor who didn't want his store, and I took it from him. So the shop came with a man, like a tailor inside. Ooh, and I was sitting in front of the tailor, and I was like, "So what do we do?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm a man Kandora tailor. I don't know what you want me to do." And I was just sitting there staring at him for 2 years. After 2 years, I was like, "Look, we need to do something." And this is where I decided to do internships here and there, help out friends who are fashion designers, and even work backstage at fashion shows. I was a model for Rabia Z, if you guys know her, for a while. Like, I've done everything I could, which is not something that you should be ashamed of, because if you want to reach a dream, even if it's picking up this, cleaning that, to get the money or to get the information, there is nothing shameful about that. And I was so proud about what I was doing, because I was in need. After that, slowly, within the 3rd year, I opened a 2nd branch, a 3rd branch, started to understand the brand even more, and started to understand what fashion is about, and sketch. Oh my God, if you guys see my sketchings, you would shoot me in the leg. They are so bad, but when you have a team and you communicate your drawings with the team, they understand you. So if I draw something crooked, they go like, "Oh, she means crochet, just ignore her." So I've developed this language with my team, and they can actually understand my drawings, they understand my patterns, they understand everything. So I self-taught myself everything. And you guys are so lucky that you have universities now that teach you this. Back then, there was no one. Fashion was something that wasn't even in at the time in the UAE. The hardest thing I learned in fashion is that in a world of imitators, we need some innovators. So if you're a fashion designer, copying other people's designs is not something you want to do, because your brand is your identity, it's who you are, it's your personality. So for me now, if you ask any of my clients or my friends, if I put 10 abayas in front of them and I tell them which one is mine, they will immediately know. Why? Not because they know me too well, not because they know the brand too well, but it's because my personality is in my brand. And my brand is a personality. So what do you want your personality to be? A copy of Alexander McQueen? A copy of Chanel's latest collection? Who do you want to be? And this is what a lot of designers fall down and lose their track. It's because when they lose hope and they feel like, what if people won't like this? Okay, fine, you know what, let me just open up Chanel's website and just copy one of their basics, So this is the biggest mistake you can do, because you are a designer, you are selling your taste. Some might like it, some might not. And by the way, I do not wear 99% of what I design. I feel like, oh my God, there's no way I'm wearing this. But when you're a designer, you're catering to so many tastes. And this was the hardest thing for me to learn. In the beginning, it was everything Sara would wear. And then nobody bought it. And then later on, it was everything Sara would wear with the colors others would want. Nobody liked it. So I learned the hard way that you need to do a lot of R&D. You need to do research. You need to look at what's trending. You need to do marketing research. You need to do surveys. You need to observe. You need to keep your eyes open, because if you don't do that, and if you're in the fashion industry, you fall down. It is so easy to become a fashion designer, and it's so easy to enter the fashion industry, but it's so hard to stay in there, because it will suck you in, but it will spit you out immediately if you're not authentic. This is something that I've learned the hard way. Stay authentic to your brand, to your style, and don't worry if people don't like it. You know, this is what fashion is about. I mean, my biggest inspiration, he passed away, Alexander McQueen, is because he did not care about what people think, and people loved that. He just, this is me, this is who I am, and this is what I do. And people approached it and they loved it. And another thing I learned is that when you're a designer, you're not just in a studio locked up, designing, sketching, producing. Your clients, let's say, because I do abayas, so how many abayas would one woman buy in a month or two? 2 pieces? While she's not shopping, while she bought them already, how is my brand entertaining that woman, that client? And this is what Alexander McQueen did in his shows. He was entertaining you. He wasn't worried about selling you anything. He's an entertainer. To be a designer, you have to be an entertainer, an artist, and at the same time a creator. It's very important. A lot of people neglect that part, which is very important. When you have customers and they're not buying at the moment, how do you keep them attached? How do you keep them loyal? And how do you keep them entertained? And sadly, I'm actually, in my free time, I teach a lot of people how to start business, especially in fashion. But I teach them how to do it the right way, because there's the wrong way and there's the right way. I sat with a lot of people that told me, we're designers. I design. Okay, let's go. I invite you to my workshop. I want to work with you. No, I can't do that. Why? It's because they just hired designers and she calls herself a designer. So basically, she's a businesswoman, not a designer. That's like going online, watching a heart surgery and saying, hey, Safiya, I'm a heart surgeon. Does that even make sense? It doesn't even make sense. If you want to do it right, you need to do it the right way. If you want to be called something, you need to be fully that.
Basically, I feel like influencers, if you had to ask me one question, are they necessary? Yes, they are. Are they easy to work with? No, they're not. I'll be honest. Basically, I've recently been working with more influencers. Initially, when I first started designing, it didn't even enter my mind for 1 minute. I was just more of a creative person. I thought about the creativity side. I didn't think about any of the marketing side at all. So I made all these designs, and then I'm like, okay, where are the sales? And I was like, okay, so I have to turn to influencers. A lot of people advise me on certain influencers. I would say that you always have to be selective. Don't just go with anybody because of a number. Even if they have 5,000 followers, if they are true to your aesthetic, if they fit your fashion collection, if they embody the messages you're trying to send across with your clothes, I would say go with them rather than somebody who has 1,000 or 100,000 or a million followers. Because at the end of the day, when people get more and more following, people don't hold them as credible because they believe everything to be a paid advertisement. And the people who have less followers are doing it just for the love and the true belief in that collection or that piece. Influencers can be a bit tricky because they are not necessarily always nice. Sometimes they are very, they'll want something, they want to alter it and change it. And as a designer, I would never recommend that because you have a vision of how you want your piece to look. And the second you change it for somebody else, it loses your message, it loses your belief and your everything that you put into all of your hard work. So influencers in the fashion industry are definitely changing everything, 1,000%. Some editors that have been working for magazines, you'll even see in the media, were fired after 25 years plus working for a magazine because of somebody younger who has more social media presence or who has a bigger following. People are valuing that more because they get an editor and they get an audience watching it as well. Models are not working as much either because the campaigns and the big brands are seeing that these influencers not are only a model or look model-esque, but they also have millions or hundreds of thousands of people watching what they're doing. So it's like a double-edged sword. They no longer turn to commercials or radio advertisements, etc. They just kind of go with the influencer and making a really creative video for Instagram, and they call it a day. So in some ways it's good, and in some ways it's bad. So there are some people who become a designer and an influencer, which is kind of interesting in and of itself, because you're selling your product and you're telling people it's the most amazing thing, but it's yours. So do they trust that? How do you gain people's trust when you want to prove a message, prove that your clothes are worth buying? At the end of the day, social media is a very powerful thing. It can also be a very negative thing. You have to develop a very thick skin. There's so many people who will tell you what you have in your mind and what you want to do isn't doable. There's going to be loads. I've had so many people tell me that I'm a mom, I have 3 kids. So I've had people tell me you can't do it. You can't have 3 kids and have a business. But if you wake up every morning and you think to yourself, this is what I love, it won't feel like work, A, and B, you will stop at nothing until it happens, until you succeed. So influencers, I would say they're a necessary evil sometimes, but you don't always have to go that route. Sometimes when you just focus on the pure creation and the art of what you love, and just remember from the beginning what inspired you on your collection. You don't necessarily need influencers, but I mean, they are a very good medium. So I'm currently working on a campaign that you might be seeing if you follow Vogue Arabia anytime soon. I'm not really supposed to say, but if you guys follow them, you'll see a campaign that I produced, and it's my campaign, and my beautiful friend Safiya Abdallah is also a part of it, which I'm so honored that she took on the project. And the message behind it is something that I truly believe in so strongly, and I have a lot of influencers that you might recognize in the campaign. And my reason being for the influencers is because they all represented something so different to me. I have one who is the social media maven, and she's from New York City, and then I have a journalist who works for Allure and Vogue US, and I have Sada, who's a government entity, and she works in the Chamber of Commerce, and she's an amazing motivational speaker, and she's literally this long list of things. She literally I could have just had her in it actually, and it would have been done. Like, she mashallah does everything. And she's such an inspirational woman. She supports so many people, and she's so selfless. I can't even call her an influencer because she's like just that good. And then I have inside in the campaign, there's also the first hijabi model who modeled for H&M in 2015. So basically, yeah, I have influencers that I've been working with, but these are ones that I've kind of laid out, and I think they truly have a message, they believe in what they do, and they fit the message, they fit the campaign to a T. So I think that it's very, very important that if you do want to work with influencers, you make sure that they are true to your aesthetic, they are true to your brand, and they will convey the message as if it's their own.
Start off, mention your names.
Okay, so we're very proud here to present Sara Al Madani and Safiya Abdallah, to Ecology, Fashion and Design, 2 very prominent figures in fashion at the moment, which I'm sure will undoubtedly have a very positive impact on our students today, being able to share their experiences, give them tips for the future, and better equip them for being fashionistas going forward, moving into the fashion world.
Can you basically explain how you view the fashion industry in the UAE compared to Europe or other places in the world?
Absolutely. I'm actually doing a lot of research on this, my own research at the moment. The UAE is very different to fashion retail in terms of a number of things. The first I would say is digitalization. It is taking a little bit more time for fashion digitalization to be coming to the UAE. We talk about shopping online, e-commerce, etc. Something that we, back in Europe, in the United States, we take for granted. These are things that we've had going on for the past decade, longer than that we have had people buying online. But now things are moving over to the Middle East, where people are slowly changing their mindset in terms of convenience, in terms of pricing as well. Quite often buying something online you can have for a much lower price. But we must not forget that the mindset over here is very different in terms of how one uses fashion as an experience. And fashion in the Middle East, that's what really fascinates me, because over here fashion is very experiential. People spend a day in a mall They will go shopping, they will eat, they will shop some more, they might go and see a movie, and theatre. Theatre is very much, fashion over here is an experience, it's theatre.
You can talk in a nutshell about the fashion college that's been here when it was established, the number of entrants you have at the college. Maybe you can talk something about that.
So the College of Fashion and Design was established early this year in 2017. It's accredited by the Ministry of Education. At present, we're very proud to actually have our college as the only distinguished college that focuses on fashion design and fashion business management. We have 3 courses actually. We have the fashion diploma, and then we also have our bachelor's in fashion design and our bachelor's in fashion business management. So all 3 courses are there to really give students a very holistic understanding of the fashion world. If they want to move into fashion design, it equips them with the business management behind it. If they want to move into business management, we equip them with the design skills behind that.
Thank you.